Chaz is a wizard. Chaz is a literal wizard. Maybe you already knew this, but I've got a little story for you. And if you didn't think it before, you're going to know it's true now. First off, hi everyone. Welcome to Monday. If you're not familiar with Chaz, Chaz is one of our best friends. We've known him for many years. He is a programmer. That's what he does for a living. And he also helps Mal and myself out with various things that basically make our life easier. If you've ever scrolled down to the description of a vlog and saw the time machine that has all the links that go back 10 years, that's Chaz's doing. Because one day he asked me about it. He was like, how are you pulling those links in? And I was like, well, I just go search for them manually. He's like, well, doesn't that take forever? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, hold on. And then 15 minutes later, he had written me a script that went and just pulled them all for me, so I don't have to do that manually anymore. That's probably saved me countless hours. He's designed so much stuff for Extra Life, doing the roulette last year and getting all of that stuff set up. He's helped me do things with like the Patreon ticker that shows up during breakfast stream, a lot of the overlay stuff. He's also the one that did all of the coding for Discord. So whenever we are doing Steven and Friends, all of the names show up and it shows like who's talking. Chaz did that. So Chaz is a literal wizard. I'm not a programmer. I have enough ability to read code and have a general sense of what it's doing. I don't write it. That's just not my forte. And we've been very lucky to have Chaz in our lives to be very enthusiastic about what we're doing and very willing to help us out, because he's probably saved us hundreds, if not thousands of hours over the years doing stuff. I give all of that context to tell you this. Chaz basically made a new Streamlabs. And he's talked about it for a long time, but I really didn't think that he was actually going to do it. And I certainly didn't think he was going to do it over the course of like 3 or 4 days. But he did. And it's functional. And it's wild. Now, before we go any further, this is something that's super, super alpha and super, super private. Whether or not Chaz builds it up to the point where it would eventually be something that's open to the general public, I don't know. But for right now, this is still, I guess, in testing. And the only person that is testing it currently is me. I'm the guinea pig. If things go well, Chaz may continue to work on it, and maybe it'll be a site that you can use for your streaming needs at some point. Right now, it's just me. So over the last 18 months, we've been streaming on Twitch, and if you're doing any sort of streaming, whether it's Twitch or otherwise, you're probably using alerts. And if you're using alerts, there's a good chance that you're using Streamlabs. Streamlabs is definitely the biggest site for putting alerts on your stream. And putting alerts on your stream is just a good idea in general. Most people put alerts of some kind, whether they're bit alerts or sub alerts or something of that manner. And we've been using those ever since we started doing Twitch 18 months ago. Now, Streamlabs is what we used because it was the big one, but I've noticed consistently problems with Streamlabs. Sometimes your alerts just get eaten. Sometimes they're in your list, but not forever, which is really weird. Like, I can go to my Streamlabs history, like where it shows all my alerts, and when I scroll down, like, there might be a certain type of alert that I can go back to for like a week, and then there's other alerts that they just disappear. And I don't know why. Sometimes they disappear like in about half an hour, and that's not good, because sometimes we pause alerts for, half an hour while we're doing like an episode, like we won't have alerts on, and then we'll pull them back up. And there is the slightest chance that Streamlabs will actually eat the alert. And Chaz knows more about programming than I do, obviously, so he actually poked around the site and found all sorts of wild stuff that could possibly explain why this is happening. And basically, ever since we've noticed these issues on Streamlabs, Chaz has always muttered under his breath, I should just do this. And finally he did. On Friday, he sent me a link to a page that he had made, and it was basically showing us all of our alerts. and we were actually able to use it on Friday during our Yoshi's Island finale stream. So it wasn't controlling the alerts that were happening on screen, but it was giving us a readout of the stuff that was coming through on chat. And more importantly, we could trust that it wouldn't disappear because it was coded from scratch using more simplistic code, and it was just going to hold the stuff there. It wasn't like Streamlabs where something was just randomly going to get literally overwritten with new information. And I used it on Friday, and I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. Now, obviously, that was just giving us the data from chat. And I was like, do you have any plans to work on, for one, the ability to add new alerts? The whole thing behind Streamlabs is being able to upload your own animated GIF and your own audio and choosing the duration and all of that other stuff. Do you have any plans to do that? And also the actual overlay part. And he said, well, maybe someday. And then I think it was yesterday, I think it was on Sunday, that he sent me a link to the alert settings stuff. So he actually had a page where all of our alerts were. They were sorted correctly. I could upload new alerts. I could choose the bit value or the sub tier or whatever. I could add sound. I basically could do, for the most part, a lot of what I could already do on Streamlabs. Chaz had programmed it from scratch. And I was like, oh my God. And he's like, yeah, still have to do the overlay. I said, okay. Well, I got that today. So in the span of 4 days, Chaz literally made a new Streamlabs. Finally, an alternative. But we tested it tonight, and it's working. And it's crazy to me. I don't think he realizes that it's as crazy as it is, but he literally made an entire alternative to the site. And that's super, super helpful because, for one, he can make it look like whatever we need it to look like. We are not within the bounds of Streamlabs UI. Whatever works best for us, Chaz can program it to look like however we want it to look. And there's a lot of other special power here too. And this is a tiny thing, but I've always thought it would be really exciting, is that when we do our streams, we have our alerts down in a tiny box. And, I was telling him, I was like, it would be actually really cool if we had the overlay for the entire screen and alerts were down in the box, but for, special alerts or something, they could actually come out and they'd be free on the entire screen. And it's not that you couldn't do that on Streamlabs. It's just doing that on Streamlabs would be difficult because you'd have to code a lot of stuff by hand. And there was a lot of stuff I had to code by hand on Streamlabs because things didn't work correctly. Text wrap on some of the alerts didn't work correctly. And why it didn't work correctly by default is insane, but I would have to try and go in and fix it. And then Chaz would have to come up behind me and clean up the code that I didn't get quite right. But yeah, we tested it tonight and it's working, and tomorrow is going to be our first live run of this. And I'm excited. I guess I'm a little nervous because we have relied on Streamlabs for the entirety of our Twitch career for 18 months. But I trust Chaz more than I trust Streamlabs, and I know that he has proven himself over and over to know what he's doing, and I know that he understands our specific needs better than Streamlabs, which is just open to everyone. It's just you do your own thing. I know that he understands them better than that. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited about this. And again, this is still super alpha, but it is functional, and that's really exciting. We'll continue to move forward on this, but tomorrow's going to be a big day. Especially because the way that he set it up, it looks basically identical to the way it was, so people may not even notice. If they don't notice, that's even cooler, because he's just done such a good job of mimicking the way that we had it set up. And he's coded the whole thing from scratch. It's wild, man. It's wild. I will keep you guys updated also with how we continue forward on this and, where it goes, etc. And, of course, if Chaz ultimately gets it to the point where he wants to open it up to the public, I'll let you know that as well. But We're probably still pretty far away from that. But the fact that he got everything working in just a very short order is amazing to me, and I really can't wait to try it out. It's going to be cool. Anyway, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I need to go to sleep because I stayed up a little bit to get everything set up and working. And I guess we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Let's be back tomorrow. Ciao.